This is WVUA 23 News at 10.
Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tamika Alexander. Topping tonight's news, the great debate. Presidential nominees Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton had their first debate this evening. It was game on in New York for the first debate in the race for the White House. Steve Nance has a full report.
The nominees for president made their case to voters Monday night in the first debate of the general election. It didn't take long for attacks to fly.
I have a feeling that by the end of this evening, I'm going to be blamed for everything that's ever happened.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not?
Trump continually interrupting Clinton as the topics move from trade agreements
To approve Trans-Pacific Partnership.
I was against it once it was finally negotiated and the terms were laid out. I wrote about that in...
You called it the gold standard. You called it the gold standard of trade deals. You said it's the finest deal you've ever seen.
No.
And then you heard what I said about it, and all of a sudden you were against it.
Well, Donald, I know you live in your own reality.
to national security.
Go to her website. She tells you how to fight ISIS on her website. I don't think General Douglas MacArthur would like that too much.
The next
At
subject
least I have a plan to fight ISIS.
Clinton, meanwhile, repeatedly sought to counter Trump's claims.
We have taken the homepage of my website, HillaryClinton.com, and we've turned it into a fact checker.
Trump deflected a question that has long dogged his campaign by bringing up an issue that has dogged Clinton's campaign for even longer.
I will release my tax returns against my lawyer's wishes when she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted.
I think you've just seen another example of bait and switch here. We know the IRS has made clear there is no prohibition on releasing it when you're under audit.
In Hempstead, New York, I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
And joining us now with some feedback on tonight's debate is University of Alabama political science professor Dr. Alan Linken. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Lots of topics discussed, lots of people tuning in just to see how Donald Trump was going to behave tonight.
Sure.
Was he able to stay on course?
Largely, yes. So I counted, by my count, 22 times at least where he interrupted Secretary Clinton, but it wasn't obtrusive. It wasn't mean. It wasn't sort of mean-spirited. It was in the course of debate. He wasn't calling her names. He wasn't sort of saying bad things about her, and he made a point at the end to make sure he said that. But it also wasn't a very clean debate. It wasn't something where he just stayed out of her way and let the facts speak for themselves.
And also, Lester Holt was the moderator tonight. Do you think he was fair?
A lot's been made of that with regard to the Matt Lauer and the Commander-in-Chief Forum, how Lauer refused to sort of engage the candidates and fact check as he was going on. I think, by my count again, Lester Holt sort of engaged Donald Trump 3 or 4 times and really held his feet to the fire. And in fairness, Donald Trump actually did respond to more than one of those, held his own ground and really did sort of answer those questions.
And our final question, who do you think won tonight? Who did their best tonight?
That is certainly tough. They both had things to prove. So Secretary Clinton wanted to prove that she's trustworthy, and a lot of the conversation stayed away from the emails. There was certainly mention of the emails, but a lot of the conversation focused on her experience or focused on sort of Donald Trump's sort of issues. Donald Trump, on the other hand, really wanted to engage Secretary Clinton, really wanted to sort of say, I have a good temperament, I can be the president of the United States. And again, he largely didn't get into really nasty spats. So to a certain extent, they can both claim victory.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Great. Thank you.
All right.